a beat-up team. I think they're a team that's going to have to patch their way through the next couple of weeks and figure out a way to beat another beat-up team this week. And I think it's going to be a team that plays a lot of games like it did the other day, meaning, somebody asked about the Colts, JP, the Colts who lead the division.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody right now is playing this game of like looking at the schedule and saying, okay, they're supposed to win this. They're supposed to win this. I guess what? I think the Jaguars are going to probably win one of those that you think they're going to lose. They'll probably lose a couple you think they're going to win because they're that sort of team right now. But I think they're going to be swinging at the end because they've been swinging so far for 8 games. And, they've been the last man standing 5 times, and I think they can get to 9 or 10. So that's I don't think they're great yet, but I think they're a team that can fight their way into this thing.
Yeah, the magic number is 10. And so can you get to 10? Because 10 typically guarantees you a place within the tournament. And if the Jaguars are able to get that done, and you think about just looking ahead, the schedule, you got a couple of division games, like you play 2 against the Colts, 2 against the Titans, where if you take care of your business within the division, that puts you right on the edge of being able to get in. Then you got to win another one somewhere in this mix to be able to get it done. It can be done, but the only thing you can do is you got to focus on what's ahead of you. And the Houston Texans are ahead. They have a really good defense. They have a really good team, even though they may be without their starting quarterback.
To your point, John, and Bucky, about the schedule, looking at the schedules and all that, the Colts have the 5th hardest remaining strength of schedule. The Jaguars have the 4th easiest remaining strength of schedule. If you're into that, you got to go play the games, though.
Sure,
clearly,
I'm sure they do. And by the way,
nothing.
It means this is stats. I'm reading stats.
Just to clarify what Bucky said, they have announced D'Amico Ryans did say that Stroud is out.
He's out.
So
Davis Smith.
That you usually don't look too much at the injury report, but that's the only injury report in this league that matters sometimes is the quarterback. So it's a big one. That strength of schedule thing, JP, again, right now the way the Jaguars are playing, it's so funny how one moment completely changes the narrative, right?
Oh, yes.
If Devon Hamilton's hand is 2 feet over, everybody's saying, oh, they're never going to win a game. And now it's, well, there's these 5 easy wins. Well, the Raiders were 2-5 now. So there's no easy win really for any team in this league. For this team right now, as beat up as it is, there aren't going to be easy games. It's going to be punch, punch, punch. And I keep using the analogy of the end of Rocky II. Somebody stood up and the other guy didn't fall, and it was 1 second, right? That's sort of what this team's going to feel like, I think. I think they're going to play a bunch of games. That's what it was yesterday. On Sunday, they kept punching. Eventually, the Jaguars held onto that top rope for 2 seconds longer than I'm drawing a blank than Carl Weathers did.
Apollo Creed, yes.
Apollo Creed.
Didn't Carl Weathers play for the Raiders? I think he did.
I think he did.
So there you go. Roundabout. Here we go.
Wow.
Wrap up the show. We're done.
Wow. Way to go, John. What a pull. What a pull there. Let's hear from Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen earlier today at his weekly Wednesday press conference. And, the number one story, the addition of wide receiver Jakobi Meyers from the Raiders.
Followed his career pretty closely, being in the Northeast myself, the Patriots, watching those guys over the years, and then obviously moving into a couple different roles, former quarterback, always appreciate that, really in any skilled player, but the ability, tough, strong hands, has been physical as a separator in ISO situations. I've only heard great things about the pro. Edgar's worked with him in the past as well, so definitely excited to have him.
Yeah, Jakobi Meyers, an undrafted player originally by the Patriots out of NC State and spent time there, of course, went on to the Raiders, his 3rd year in Vegas this year, and then traded for a 4th and 6th round pick next year for the Jaguars. It is the final year of his current contract. Bucky, what does Meyers bring to the table in terms of scheme and skill set?
Consistency and reliability. I think the number one thing that he brings is he's a consistent pass catcher. When you go and you dig into stats, he has a drop rate of only 1.8% for a team that leads the league in drops. That's what you're looking for. Someone that can come in and be that reliable target that Trevor Lawrence needs. What he really is, it kind of reminds me of fitting into that mix way back when we had Marvin Jones and Zay Jones and that type receiver on the perimeter around Trevor Lawrence. Steady Eddie, consistent, high IQ, going to be at the right spot. And I think when you look at what we currently have with Parker Washington and some of the other guys, even if Brian Thomas Jr. is available with the ankle, this guy is a nice addition because he allows you to play your 11 personnel packages, and he can do the consistent stuff, the dirty work over the middle, on the outside. He's a chainman.
Yeah, I think the part of what Bucky said that resonates the most and matches up best with what I've heard about Jakobi is he's going to be in the right spot. I mean, this guy's a really good route runner, and he's a reliable route runner. And I thought, as you've analyzed Trevor's career since really 22, because the 21 season was lost, to me, when was he best? He was best in the second half of 22 when he had Marvin Jones, Zay Jones, a lot of guys who in Parker. I mean, not Parker, but Christian. I do that all the time. But who he knew exactly where Christian was going to be all the time. Reliable route runners. He really tends to trust those guys, and that's what this guy is. So not Sunday necessarily, because there's not going to be trust built up by Sunday, but over time, this is a really interesting acquisition for this because it again, it's like so many moves they've made already, JP. Mm-hmm. Once you look at it, it's like, oh, I see why they did that. This fits what they're saying. They do what they say they're going to do, and they make very logical moves, and I think this is one of those.
We talked about this a little bit with the Greg Newsome edition, in-season trade, having the learning curve quickly, but this is a different level, Bucky, on offense with all the things they want to do offensively. What's the difficulty level for Jakobi Meyers to be ready to roll on Sunday?
Look, I think he can do it. He's a pro. I think the connection with him and Edgar Bennett, I am sure that Edgar can give him translatable language to help him. In our old system, it was this is what it means here. Oh, okay, and they can figure it out. I also think that there is a small menu of plays that Liam can use if he wants to make sure that I'll just call these plays when Jakobi Meyers is on the field as they package it and those things. But given where we are from a health standpoint, they need him to play, and they're going to need him to play a significant role on Sunday. He'll be up to the task because he's a pro. That's what he does. He'll be smart enough to kind of figure it out, and they will be smart enough to make it easy for him to get on the field and play well.
Yeah, look, they didn't. Tim Jones and Austin Trammell were making big plays. In the fourth quarter.
Yes,
and I don't think they necessarily were taking significant reps with Trevor on Friday in red zone, right? So I guess what I'm getting at is that game the other day was all about just figuring out what you had in the moment and making a play in the moment and not worrying about the intricacies of this.
Yes.
So I think they rely on that a little bit. It's so interesting covering Liam because you can tell he loves football so much and loves talking it that I think sometimes he's more transparent on the podium than he really means to be going in. Not that he's giving anything away, but when he said, a lot of coaches when asked today how familiar or how difficult will it be for Jakobi to learn the new language, they said, well, there's some similarities. Liam was like, yeah, it's completely different. And like he basically said, Chinese compared to English, right? Yeah. But so it is interesting that sometimes things translate. In this league right now, there are specific trees that follow offenses, and there's a lot of offenses that do run what Liam runs. They trust Jakobi Meyers enough that they didn't even care about, hey, do you know the language? No, just come in and we'll get you something you can understand so that you can run it on Sunday. And I'm with you, Bucky. They'll find a package or two to make him matter on Sunday.
100%. I just think Liam is really good at being able to whittle things down to make it where it really comes down to players, not plays. Let me get the right players on the field and let's go to work. And particularly coming off the bye week where I felt like the offense even felt different on Sunday in terms of, man, Travis Etienne got a lot of touches. I didn't realize he had so many touches and he was that impactful. Oh, the ball went to Parker Washington a lot, regardless of whether it was supposed to go to him or those plays were designed for Travis Hunter. It felt like the ball was going to a particular place all the time when it was critical. When it gets to that point and you're narrowing, it's time to narrow the focus to make sure that your best players touch it. I think he has that in his bag, and I think we're beginning to see that. So Jakobi Meyers will fit right into that strategy.
Yeah, I always laugh in this league because we spend so much time in the offseason talking about X and Y and who's going to do this and who's going to do that. Parker Washington's your one right now, Buck.
Yeah. I mean,
and this is a guy, all off season, all we talked about was BTJ and Travis Hunter and De'Ami Brown and the speed on the outside and how this was going to be done. And Parker Washington had to earn his way into this. And I know we're a little off track, but it's a remarkable. He's easily the best receiver on this team right now, Bucky.
Not only that, I think what I'm learning in this league, like we talk about, we throw the number one receiver thing out there a ton. And there are a bunch of number one receivers. And then there's an elite category of those guys. But there are also a bunch of guys that the system can create and enhance a number one receiver. And the other day on Sunday, when I'm looking at Parker Washington, I'm looking at how the ball is finding him and how he's making plays. It's the first time that I looked at him like, well, maybe he can be a 1A or 1B in a system that doesn't really have a marquee playmaker. And then I'm looking at the way that they were utilizing BTJ, and I know a lot has been made of the drops or whatever, but he's catching verticals and outbreaking routes, and you look up, he has 3 for 55, which is a solid day. Maybe there is a way to, hey, let's make this more systematic and not worry so much about the role designations, but I'll figure out a way to put the guys in the right spot to make sure that they're doing what they're comfortable with to enhance their opportunity of being successful.
We can have a great plan, but this week you got to roll it out against the number one defense in the National Football League. The Houston Texans will return and dig into that group. Jags saw them, of course, back in week number 3. And if you want customized Jags furniture for your home, check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. Zipchair, furniture for fans. And this is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. For over 50 years, Fields Auto Group has been America's premier family-owned luxury auto group, selling the most iconic brands in the world. We understand the luxury customer and provide an extraordinary car buying and service experience. It's not just about selling cars. Fields is focused on building lifelong relationships. We invite you to visit Fields and enjoy an honest and memorable luxury car buying experience.
Huddle up, My Gate Rewards members. Football is back. Celebrate with the Duval Meal Deal at Gate. Right now, grab a personal pizza and any 20-ounce Coca-Cola soft drink for just $4.99. No matter what combo you choose, this meal's the perfect play. Happening now through January 5th, 2026. See store for details. A deal that's a victory for every fan. Gates got you.
Kick is up. It's good.
Field goals for Firehouse Subs are back. That means when the Jags score from deep, you do too. Anytime the Jags score a field goal that's 40 yards or more, you can get a free medium sub with the purchase of any other medium sub online or in the app for 4 days following the game. So cheer on the Jags, watch for the big kicks, and get your buy one, get one free medium sub at participating Firehouse Subs throughout Jacksonville when you use the app. The hottest subs in Duval. See firehousesubs.com for offer terms.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. You probably already know that Echo East Coast Transportation is the official transportation provider for the Jaguars. I've been a client for more than 30 years because they're from here, and like you, they've been Jaguar fans from the beginning. So for any prearranged transportation needs, call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com. and use the code SAM in the special instructions box for your 15% Jaguars discount. And if you want to talk Jaguars, they can do that too.
That's the cat and mouse game that you're trying to look into. How have they maybe tweaked some things over the last few weeks? But the structure is the structure, and the players, that's the most important thing I think about this defense and us attacking is, guys, like, it's a damn good defense, and they don't stay blocked long. And for us to go and be successful, the plays are the plays, and we have got to go finish at the second level, stay attached to blocks, run through contact, block our asses off on the perimeter. That's what's gonna have to. That's how it's gonna have to be, man.
Coach Liam Cohen earlier today at the podium with the media. Welcome back. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, JP Shadrick, John Oehser in Jacksonville, Bucky Brooks out in Los Angeles. Full presser. We'll hear more from Liam Cohen coming up with a full press conference at Jaguars.com or the Jaguars YouTube channel. Of course, the Jaguars are in Houston this week, but the week after, they're going to face the LA Chargers Sunday, November 16th, the annual Salute to Service game. Secure your seats now. Be part of the action at Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. And, John, I think that's an example of the Liam Cohen at the podium that you were just talking about.
Well, it's funny, JP. You're forced to read the Ozone every day, I know, and I always say it's always coaching in the NFL, very sarcastically.
Yeah.
And I was kind of laughing with Liam right there. He's sitting there trying to analyze it, and why are the Texans' defense good? And he finally just goes, because they have really good players. They're really good, and when you turn on the tape, gosh, they're all playing really good. They get off blocks, and you know how we're going to beat them? We're going to have to block their butt. And
right.
At some point, Bucky, we love to talk, and you love to talk about the coordinators and all this. At some point, you got to go beat a team, and that's what I love about Liam, because he's a really good offensive coach. Don't get me wrong, a good coach, but he does always bring it back with the guys of, hey guys, you got to go win the damn game every once in a while.
I mean, look, it's very matter of fact, but it's really true. Like, every team in the National Football League has good players. Some have more than others, but that's why you see the topsy-turvy nature of the league. That's why the Panthers can go on the road and beat the Packers in Lambeau, and the Cleveland Browns can win games and those things because they're good players on these rosters. And your job as a coach is to get your guys to block their best players. And sometimes it may take one, sometimes it may take two, sometimes it takes running away from that player. But whatever it is, you have to do what you have to do to win that game on the given day. And you can't be fearful of the player, but you also can't let him wreck the game when it comes to one of those blue chip players. The Texans are dominant up front. They have two guys that are really good in Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. They have a lockdown corner in Derek Stingley Jr. They have some really good linebackers, and that's what it is. For the Jaguars to win, they're going to have to find a way to be able to run the ball effectively against that front. If they can't run it, they're going to have to be able to throw it, and guys are going to have to win their one-on-one battles. That's what it comes down to. Can your best players win their one-on-ones? You're giving them, if they do, then the Jags get another win.
How different are they as the weeks have gone along? Remember the first game, they shut down the Jaguars' running attack with an unscouted look they had never shown before. Jaguars adjusted in the second half and had most of their rushing yardage in that second half of the game to go win it. So, are they doing the same things now? Or are they just what they are on defense?
They are what they are, but they're very multiple. Obviously, D'Amico Ryans had given up play calling duty so he can manage the entire team. So you have some other things kind of blending in to what they do, but they're still going to build it around their best players. They're going to play hard. They're going to be super physical. That's their calling card. They're going to be sticky on the outside. And, in a way, they're their own type of bully within the division. And with their backs against the wall, you can expect more physicality, more effort, more toughness, because that's who they are. And when you have a backup quarterback on their side, they know that points going to be coveted at a premium. They're going to have to play really, really well, which makes them, I would say, more dangerous, but also more predictable, because now they don't have the comfort of knowing, all right, we have an A-level quarterback who can find a way to score. We might not only have to keep this team from scoring, but we may need to manufacture some points. We could lead them to bring up more pressures and blitzes to try and turn the ball over.
Yeah, to me, this is a very basic game matchup analysis. The Texans are desperate. This doesn't end their season because we've seen this. The Texans have overcome slow starts before and gotten in, but with the Colts 7-2, the Texans can't lose any more ground. But they're desperate with a backup quarterback, which can change that dynamic. So, to me, Bucky, the Jaguars have to stop the run well enough. I don't think the Jaguars' secondary is good enough right now to stop a great quarterback, but the pass rush has to get home and beat them. So anyway, JP, we're getting the Texans defense.
Let's come back in a moment, and we'll flip it around and take a look at this Texans offense, what the Jags defense has to do against this group in Week 10. This is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here, so let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
We have vehicles on the ground and ready to go. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs. Stop searching for your next luxury vehicle and see Fields first.
And get an incredible offer like this.
Right now, save up to $10,000 on remaining new 2024 Porsche models in stock at Porsche Jacksonville. Go to PorscheJacksonville.com.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguars sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at BC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? During Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday sales event, buy now and pay nothing until 2027. That's 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 full years. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida homes, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable all year round. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home design consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
From a game plan, I know, they've done a little bit more jumbo and, being able to run the football with Woody and doing a nice job that way. So expect a similar plan in ways, just more so maybe the mobility from CJ that he can provide at times, extending plays on the boot game, getting him out on the perimeter, and maybe being able to use his legs as a weapon as well.
Head coach Liam Cohen on some adjustments possibly for the Texans offense this week, and welcome back. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, and you're invited to the official Duval Watch Party presented by UF Health. Duval Watch Party. Be at the bank. The Jaguars will take on the Texans this Sunday. Attendance is free. Tickets are limited. Secure your spot at jaguars.com/watch party. Time now for the defensive coverage of the game presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association. Benefits for federal employees and retirees. We take a look at the Houston Texans offense, of course. C.J. Stroud just ruled out earlier, just a little while ago, about an hour ago, by D'Amico Ryans. So Davis Mills will get the start at quarterback. Stroud had been kind of just fairly accurate this year, but not much going on offensively. 19th overall in total offense. They struggle on third down, 31st in the league. And 21 points per game is far from enough. Davis Mills was the regular starter in 21 and 22 for the Houston Texans and has been the backup ever since. So, how difficult, Bucky, is it defensively to to figure out Davis Mills, and where do you go look for Davis Mills tape? I guess the second half of last week's game is probably a good start.
Well, you look at the second half of last week's game, you look at any start that he's participated in since he stepped into his career, just to get an overall feel for the skill set, what he likes, what he doesn't like, how he reacts to pressure and those things. And then you look at the offense and you try and figure out which of the things that they're currently doing would work for Davis Mills. But you can't overthink it, right? You don't want to overthink it. You don't want to play the guessing game and all that. You have to react to it and know that you're going to have to adjust on the fly in the game. He's a backup quarterback. Some would say he's a backup quarterback for a reason. You don't want to give him any life. Anticipate a lot of screens and quicks and swing passes, and all these things are at or near the line of scrimmage to help him get into a rhythm, and then know that they'll take a play or two, but they're going to try and be super conservative as long as they can, because if they feel good enough about him playing all the time, he'll be the starter, and he's not the starter.
Yeah, you want to get this team's run stopped. I think offensively for the Jaguars, the difficult part, or the part that it's the unknown, is can the Jaguars get some points early with what's going to be a beat-up offense and get up on the Texans? Mm-hmm. If you get up, I think Davis Mills, we've seen him. He can throw. He can throw on the money, and he can beat what is going to be a Jaguars secondary that's beat up a couple times. I would fully anticipate that. Can the Jaguars get a bit of a lead and pressure him into mistakes, get the turnovers that will give them an edge and get forward? I think the ideal situation for the Jaguars would be to win 27-17-ish, get some turnovers after they're forced to throw with a backup quarterback. Don't let them control the game. Yeah, which is obvious. You never want the other team to control the game. But with this secondary right now, the best chance for us to get some turnovers, for this Jaguars team to get some turnovers, is to be playing with scoreboard pressure and force this backup quarterback to do what he doesn't want to do.
Hey, Bucky, is the O-line still as much of an issue in Houston?
I mean, look, yeah, it's all – I mean, none of it has been great offensively. Like, they're having a tough time getting things done. They're not running the football effectively. I know they missed Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb is fine, but, like, the offensive line is really, really in flux. And then in protection, they can't keep a quarterback upright to save their life. Now, hopefully, we're able to feast upon that, disrupt the rhythm of the passing game, and not allow them to get any runs. But you just never know. Division rivalry games are weird. They can play at an A level, a level that we don't expect, and we have to find a way to get it done. At the end of the day, we just want to be the best team in the stadium, and even if our best is just 1 point better, that's good enough.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting game for Josh Hines-Allen. He was unbelievably good against Houston here. If you recall, didn't have a sack.
Yeah, but the tip ball
was all,
at the end of the game.
Well,
it capped off the day. For
even
him.
Before that, he had been disruptive. He had a game good enough to have been a 3 or 4 sack game in a different circumstance. Is Trayvon back enough to allow Josh Hines-Allen the freedom to have that kind of a game again? That's really, really big. And I would expect Josh Hines-Allen to have an impact. And again, to me, this game is about when Davis Mills puts the ball up in a situation where you can get it. I laughed last week. You didn't want to have guys walking off the field frustrated they didn't get the pick. It's not as imperative this week, but it's still a thing. You're going to have opportunities against backup quarterback. If you take advantage of them, you can be up enough where the game's not in question.
Bucky, how concerned are you with the secondary right now for the Jags?
I can answer that.
I mean, very. Now I would say that last week is a tough thing to judge him on because Brock Bowers is a monster and he plays a position that's really hard to eliminate when you play so much zone coverage. This week is different, plays more to the wheelhouse because you're playing guys on the perimeter. There are things that you can do to roll coverage and cloud them. But, I mean, I'm only concerned because we're not getting our hands on as many balls as we were early in the year. We're not knocking it down. We're not taking it away to that level. We have to get back to that. But a lot of it is you got to stop the run on early downs. You have to manufacture a pass rush to force quarterback to get it out under duress. And then you have to be close enough to either tip it, deflect it, get different ways to get on it, and then you got to catch it when it falls into your lap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Jordan Lewis will play this weekend or not. I would lean toward not, simply because when you leave the game on the first series and don't come back, seems serious enough where it'd be hard to play the next week. But so you're down arguably, if you're ranking their best players in the secondary, you're probably ranking Jordan Lewis, Travis Hunter, and Eric Murray in the top 4. Maybe the top 3. With apologies to Newsome, he's in that bunch too. So yeah, it's tough. I agree with Bucky. I think we all sort of knew Brock Bowers really, really good. Talked to somebody today who said, he may be one of the 7 or 8 best players offensively in the league right now. Which you don't think of just second year, but he's special. I don't want to call him the best tight end in the NFL, but he may if he's not, I don't want to play it.
Exactly.
so I think sometimes, I don't know that the Texans, that many teams, I always like to say sometimes Hall of Famers beat you. Jamar Chase beat you in week 2. Devontae Adams beats you in week 6. Brock Bowers thinks if he's not a Hall of Famer, it's only because he hasn't had time to build the resume yet. I don't know that the Texans have that. I'm not sure the Jaguars have that. I'm not insulting the Texans, but I think in that sense, it's more conceivable for a beat-up secondary to tread water against the Texans than it was against Brock Bowers. Just a thought. My thought. It's Huddle Up. I know it's Bucky's podcast. That was my thought.
I mean, no. Look, I'm with you. I think it was a difficult matchup, and I say that because Brock Bowers had a big game, but he really only averaged 10 yards a catch. It's just whenever we needed to stop, and it seemed like we couldn't get a stop.
How many touchdowns did he average in the game, Buck? 3?
Yeah, I mean, one every 4 catches.
Right.
He was getting busy. I mean, he was getting busy. He was running free, but. It's a different matchup, different quarterback. But what you don't want Davis Mills to get into a rhythm and find Nico Collins all over the field.
And not to belabor the point, because it wasn't a fun thing for Jaguars fans to see, but what about the catch on Newsome in the corner? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, like somebody said, you tip your hat to it and shake their hand and move on. I mean, that's a handful of guys make that play in the league right now.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
One foot down, one elbow down.
Enough with the Brock Bowers podcast.
All right, we're enough of that. We're back in a moment, and we will wrap it up and look ahead to Sunday. NRG Stadium in Houston, the Jaguars and the Texans coming up. And this is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Finally, inventories and prices are customer friendly.
That's because summer's here. So let's keep it real at the Field Summer Sales Event.
New inventory is arriving daily. All new makes and models to choose from, even electric cars and SUVs.
Visit Fields today and find the fit for you.
And get an incredible offer like this.
For a limited time, get $3,000 off all Lexus TX 350s in stock at Lexus of Jacksonville and Lexus of Orange Park.
What's the best part about lawn care during the winter? You can give it a rest. Lawns only need watering up to once a week. Really, that's it. Using less water means you're saving time and money that you can put towards something else. Before you run your sprinklers, remember, give it a rest and only water up to once a week. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Jacksonville Builders score big with DL Cabinetry. As the official cabinet supplier of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they offer top quality kitchen and bathroom cabinetry for any project. Enjoy fast turnaround, complimentary design, and great prices. Visit dlcabinetry.com today to learn more and to become a dealer. Limited spots available. DL Cabinetry, the winning choice for builders.
A bold change. A historic development is underway for the Bold City, and the Jacksonville Jaguars and team partners are a part of it. Introducing First and Forward, a development partner program highlighting the significant contributions made toward the transformative efforts to the city of Jacksonville. Thank you, Belter, Brooks Building Solutions, Jackson Electric Supply, Office Images, Sims Crane, Start Tech, and People's Gas. Championing progress on the field and in the community. The First and Forward program. The First Coast Forward Together. To learn more, visit jaguars.com/forward together.
Each week, your third down windows can change maybe by a yard or so based on how they change and how they call it. So it's more so just finding, okay, up to what window can you feel comfortable about maybe getting some runs off based on what are some of the front structures and blitzes that you're seeing. So, I've always enjoyed being able to do that and mix it up as well on some of those, but it's more so based on their windows.
Deep inside football stuff from Liam Cohen today. Third down running windows.
Sure.
You got to think about everything. Welcome back. It is Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, and it's brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first. Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. JP Shadrick, John Osher, Bucky Brooks, the Jaguars and the Texans coming up this Sunday. NRG Stadium, the site, a 1 o'clock kickoff time. And it's a beat-up Jaguars team. We knew that going into the game in Vegas. And then, of course, in-game, a lot of guys go down. There were four wide receivers on the injury report last week going into the game, including Travis Hunter, who was later on IR. Those other receivers went down in the game. Some came in and out, and they had to fill the spots. They had one tight end in the game, and it's not the first time, John, that Liam's had to deal with this before.
No, that part was impressive. And every season you're going to face one or two games sort of like that, where all of a sudden you look up and it's sort of chaotic on the sidelines and you're not sure who's in and who's out. I did think, Bucky, that Trevor's response in that situation was really good. But the point I was going to make, JP, is one reason the Jaguars really liked Liam Cohen was last year in Tampa, their offense got better and maintained when they lost their two best receivers for 4 or 5 weeks. So Liam's been through this before. I guess what I was going to ask Bucky is, what is it about him or his offense that allows him to do that? Because I know the Bucs have talented running backs, but I don't know that their personnel was so great running the ball last year where you thought, oh, well, they can make up for the loss of Mike Evans, who's going to the Hall. And, so how is he able to do that? Does it translate at all? It's your podcast, Bucky. Talk about it.
No, I'll say the first thing that gives Liam a chance to overcome some of these situations is his belief in himself and his players. At no time can I tell you that he blinked when he had to look out there and see Tim Jones and Austin Trammell and Parker Washington and just know that these are the guys. There's so many coaches that would bitch and moan and cry about their situation where he just takes, hey, whoever we have, we got to figure it out. Cole Van Landen had to get talked to about playing tight end. And at one point, I was like, man, Cole Van Landen is going to really be the tight end. Like, this is going to be crazy to look at. But that's what they had to do, and they figure it out. And you have to have enough adaptability in your system to be able to take what you have and find a way to make it work. And he does that. And what he did last year in Tampa is right around the middle of the season, he thought they were going to have to play one way, maybe a zone scheme. But he figured out, like, we're not really good running zone, so we've got to be a gap scheme team. And that's what great coaches do. You're not necessarily married to a system, but you have different things within that system to allow you to shift and change your identity as it best fits the personnel. That's what he'll do. I have a lot of confidence in him. I have a lot of confidence in Trevor in terms of Trevor also doesn't make excuses for who he is tasked with playing. He just tries to figure it out and make it work. And sometimes it's ugly. It's not always pretty, but their confidence and belief, really, that's where it starts in terms of being able to get it done with whoever's on the field.
All right, the Jaguars looking for their first season sweep of the Texans since 2017. Since then, Texans 12-3 against the Jags. That's in the rear view, though. The next game is as Tony Baselli likes to say, the most important game in franchise history. That's the way this group looks at it. Hey, it's the next game. That's why, Bucky. The past doesn't matter.
Most important game in franchise history, even when we're doing the process over outcomes. I mean, that still seems like a little lot. That's a lot. Making the most important game in
Have you met Tony? He's a lot.
Tony is a lot. So, yeah, that's right. That's what it is.
No, I think it's a maybe I say this every week, but I think it's a fascinating matchup in that sense. It's not a marquee matchup around the league. Mm-hmm. It's so beat up and backup quarterback, whatever. But for two teams, for the Jaguars to be going in as beat up as they're going to be and adapting like they're going to be with the receiving core and the defensive backfield, really different than what they started out. It's an interesting game because I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to play well offensively. And I kind of think that Trevor is starting to step a little bit. I think that was a big game for him last week, and by step I mean a step forward. So I'm curious to see what he does with this receiving core. I think it's going to be better than people think. So that's my thought. I'm not locking it, Bucky. I'm not, that's not what you heard there. But I mean,
come on, man. Lead pipe lock this thing. This is a big win. It's the most important game in franchise history. I just learned that 3 minutes ago. And so if it's the most important game in franchise history, we got to say that it's going to be the biggest win in franchise history, given that it's the only game that we have of the week.
Did you say
on week to week?
Did you say lead pipe lock? Is that your lock?
Oh, for sure. Like let's lock this up.
He's locked it. There it is. Bucky is locked.
Oh, we got a graphic.
Yes,
I like
we do.
it.
I'm not locking it, but 6-3, fellas. You get this one, which you think you got a chance to. 6-3 with 8 games to go gives you a decent chance to start piecing together things you want to do, like win the division. I mean, so it's
all out there.
Yeah, good teams go win this one.
I thought, John, when you're saying things that you want to do, I thought you were talking about the things that you want to do with your playoff bonus, like things that you want to do around the house.
I don't get playoff
bonus.
Like, any of those things. I thought that's what you were talking about when you're talking. I thought you were already. I was like, man, you're spending the money before it's already cashed in.
I'll spread the strawberry jam I get in January on a piece of toast with my playoff bonus. Jam of the month.
Bucky, great stuff as always. We'll talk to you over the weekend here. Appreciate it.
See you, Buck.
Bucky Brooks out of here. John Ozier out of here. I'm JP Shadrick. Our thanks to Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber, our entire crew. And thanks to you for watching and listening. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.